It's the idea that we'll come together and form a country or a nation and have shared responsibilities, shared duties, and shared benefits. And as regards taxes, nothing more than the adage, no taxation without representation, comes to play this morning. And that's why I'm sure you've called this form of parliament, because no one is going to be taxed without the representatives having a say on this matter. And so it has to be clear this morning that these are proposals. And these proposals are not law yet. We will discuss them in the assembly, and what makes sense, in my opinion, will get through. What doesn't make sense will not make or will not see the light of day. I say that for this reason.
How sure are you about that?
No, I'm certain about it, because a very well-guided member of parliament should know what the constituents want. They know what, I mean, all of us here represent a constituency. And we should know and listen to what the public wants. But above all, what is important, and what this, in my opinion, does that, this is the first ever finance bill of the Kenya Kwanza government. And so I believe that they have put in everything else, some of the wishes they have, that this is how we want to raise revenue for the future, that we've given you a budget policy statement that has these kind of proposals, and this is how we intend to raise revenue to finance this budget that we're going to have. That's what they're telling you. And so they're telling Parliament, this is our proposal. What do you think? And so in terms of the highlights, let me start with the elephant in the house, the issue of pay as you earn. A very important issue in my opinion. And the principle here is that the government is saying we want those who earn low to pay a lower rate. And we want those who earn high to pay a higher rate. Talking about equity, trying to say that those who earn more should at least contribute more towards the development of the country, and those who earn low or earn less. And
they're already paying more because they have a maximum of 30%.
No, now 30% is almost for everybody else, as it were. And the bands that are put there, in my opinion,
that's what I'm saying. 30% of 100 is 30. 30% of 20 is 6,000.
No, and that's the point. That there are those who, anybody who's earning more than 100 and below, you've seen their tax going down. If you look at that band, I don't know if you have it here.
No, I know what you're talking about.
So the idea is this, Sam, that can we have, for example, equity in terms of how we tax income? And so those who earn more, are they willing to pay more to get the country going forward? The debate we should be having, in my opinion, should be, should the band be at 500,000 per month or $1 million per month? How do you describe a higher earner in the country? That's, for me, would be the debate. But where I sit, I believe that there should be a proration, that those who earn less should be asked to pay less equitably, and those who earn higher should be willing to contribute more. I mean, this happens, in case where Honorable Wandeto was saying, this happens in most countries, that there's a band where those who earn, say, up to, say, $15,000 a month are going to pay more, and those who earn less, far less, have less getting out of their pay slips. I believe the principle is all right. What is not, what I don't agree with is whether the band they're putting, because $5 million now with the inflation in the country, it's quite a lot. It's not a lot of money. And so maybe you want to raise the band further. But in terms of equitability and responsibility sharing, I believe this is a very good principle. And the same principle for me applies on NHIF.
Okay.
That if, for example, someone is earning the minimum wage and someone is earning $1 million Kenya shillings, surely, in my opinion, we should agree as a country, after conversation, that those of us who are earning higher should be able to contribute higher to enable those who are earning less be able to get services that everyone else gets. I believe the principle is all right. What may not be all right would be the bands and how they are putting the percentages on how much everyone needs to pay. So I really believe that has to be looked at. But above all, this finance bill, in my opinion, does a couple of things that for me are very important. One is if government wants to raise more money, they must build the capacity of KRA. And so in this finance bill, they're talking about training and capacity building of KRA staff. For me, that's very important because we've seen how KRA has behaved over time, and we believe that lack of professionalism in that regard is not doing a good job. But if you look at this finance bill, there's a particular provision that ensures that we build the capacity of KRA to be able to do some of these things. I mean, let us not throw the baby with the bathwater, Sam. And let's not
I hear you.
Let's not only highlight the things that we think negative, because these are things that can be discussed. There are things that can be saved. But like, for example, the idea that we're going to reintroduce the higher VAT on petroleum products, for me, I'm against it. And I won't support it on the floor of the House. Because if you're talking about reducing the cost of living, then we must be hitting where it's important. Like, for example, this particular bill, much as it seeks to introduce the tax on petroleum products, which I will oppose, it also seeks to reduce the tax on LPG.
Right.
Yeah, so there are gains and there are losses that are going to be made. And I mean, I've read that finance bill twice, and I know that there are very many gains that are being made, and also there are losses.
Okay.
In terms of the losses, we can discuss them as a member of parliament without being sensationalist on some of the issues.
That's fine.